Yeah, so Dan Campbell just had a really weird comparison, and it is, and the title of this video is, "Did the Detroit Lions just find the next Amon-Ra St. Brown?" And here's what's weird. When you hear the comparison, you're gonna be like, they don't play the same position. They don't even play on the same side of the ball. But when you look at this, when you see this, you're not going to be able to help but be like, oh, yeah, this does make a little bit of sense. So, hey, couple things. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much. If you're not, before we get into this, we started a second channel called Sports Talk Extra. We got a bunch of stuff that we're doing over there. More NFL teams, smaller market teams that don't get the love like the Lions. If you love the NFL, go check it out. Hit that subscribe button if you like it. If you don't. That's okay. But let's get on with this video. So here is the man that we are comparing to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it is Brian Branch. Hang in here with me, y'all. This is really kind of cool. So a day after Branch was drafted, Campbell called him and told him to channel his inner St. Brown. It's the first thing he did. Dan Campbell said to him, I told him, let this be a chip on your shoulder. He's sitting there for a while. And there again, it's one of the reasons we traded back to get him, because we couldn't believe he was still sitting there. None of us could. Remember how happy all of us were when we got Brian Branch? We were pumped. And you use that. No different than what Saint did. You use that and you show everyone else who passed on you what you're capable of. Now, what we now know is that message is clearly connected, because when asked about that experience, Branch gave a very much St. Brown-like answer where he said, it's going to be with me forever. All right. Remember, St. Brown can fit, what is it, the 16, 17 guys. He can name every single receiver that was drafted before him. And then it goes deeper than that. And I'm going to go into stats. I'm going to go into everything, the way they play and everything. Campbell said he has a very serious approach about him, especially for a young player. And what you remember is, I remember the greatest quote ever when St. Brown was coming out of college. One of his coaches said, I feel like if you cut open his head, there's a football inside where a brain is supposed to be. He just was so serious. He ate, slept, breathed football, and he loved it. Dan Campbell said he's very serious. He has a serious approach about him, just like St. Brown. And then he said he's really been here for 2 weeks with the vets practicing, and he's doing a good job. Here's what you can see it on tape. I did 2 U's on purpose. That was me quoting this. All right. One of the reasons we acquired him, he's an instinctive player. He has instincts. Instinctive, serious, very good combination. All right. And then Aaron Glenn went on to say this. I can't tell you exactly if he's going to start or anything like that, but I'll tell you what. He will have a role on this defense. Okay, he's going to have a role on this defense. I want to talk to you about the players that he's in competition with in order to have a role. They are Tracy Walker, proven NFL starting caliber safety in this league. Kirby Joseph, the man we all fell in love with last year. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the man we paid over $8 million to get him in Detroit on a bargain, might I add. All these guys are entrenched starting positions. So the fact that Glenn is even offering up I don't know if he's going to start, but he's going to have a role. What that tells me is that they already see something special in this dude. Other people that play the same position on this team, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Savion Smith, Chase Lucas, and Brady Breeze. It seems like Brian Branch has already worked himself into a spot where he's the first safety off the bench and he's the first nickel off the bench. If he's actually this good, all of a sudden the C.J. Gardner-Johnson signing becomes even better, because it's 1 year. And then if he works out, great. If you don't want to pay him a lot of money, maybe Brian Branch can come in and play the exact same role. They're very similar players. Now, with Brian Branch, if you go and you look at his tape, he's just solid. He does everything well. And what I love about him is there's so much tape of him playing at nickel, playing in the box as a safety, even though he's not a huge guy, under 200 pounds. He tackles at a ridiculously high rate. He had a missed tackle rate of 3.3%. That is elite. That is absolutely elite. He had 3 missed tackles all of 2022. For his entire playing career, 39 games, he had a total of 4 missed tackles. 4. His entire college football career, he missed 4 tackles. Are you kidding me right now? And I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, it's college. He plays in the SEC. Alabama this year played Texas. Some of those happened on Bijan Robinson. They played Texas A&M. I saw him tackle Devin Achane on 3 or 4 different occasions and made Devin Achane look slow, made him look small, made him look like he shouldn't be an NFL running back. He won those battles against elite running backs. This is exciting, and it's very St. Brown-like. He doesn't flash. He just does it right. And it was amazing when I'm watching the tape of Branch, how much I'm thinking to myself, once I see this article and I go back and I watch the tape, I'm just like, this is St. Brown on the defense. They're not that different in size. They're not that different in the way that they play. I mean, they never seem to be in a hurry, but they're always fast enough. I am just absolutely amazed at what this guy is doing. And then all the metrics say the same thing. They all say the same thing. His coverage grade at PFF was an 86. His run defense grade was a 91. Unbelievable. And what's even more nuts about that is when you go deeper into stats, all right, he had 19 coverage stops, which was tied for first in the country. He was tied for 10th with run stops with 24. Tied for 8th with 9 forced incompletions. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, the guy can flat out play. I think he'll be even better in the run and not in large amounts of space, but he proved, and he has proven, that he can absolutely do whatever he needs to do. So I hope you're excited about this guy. Like, he got drafted in the 2nd round, so I don't think anybody is expecting him, like, with the 46th pick. And with everybody we have in front of him, I don't think anybody's expecting him to start. But you're telling me one of those guys aren't going to get injured? You have Tracy Walker back there with coming off a torn Achilles, and Joseph is playing his first full season. Like, and CJ Gardner-Johnson is, experienced, has been healthy, which is great, but even he was hurt a little banged up at times last year. It is a physical position. You need depth there. He provides the depth. All right, Brian Branch, the next Amon-Ra St. Brown. People are going to call this the steal of the draft, even though it was a 2nd round pick. Mark my words, the dude has skills. He's not the fastest. He's not the biggest. He just is a football player, man. And that's what we want in Detroit. All right, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the Sports Talk Detroit Nation. We will see you on the next one.